what if I just figured something out about myself on your show?
I love it.
You're such a good host.
I'm taking this in my therapy this week. Today's guest is a singer-songwriter. Please welcome to the Zoom, Isabel Pless. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy that you're doing this. I found you on TikTok a little while ago. I admire you so much. I don't even know how you could possibly be more vulnerable and authentic in your music. I don't know if you agree, but as a listener and as someone who also writes, I am just in awe of your ability to not only like admit things to yourself that everyone feels, but to be able to put it into writing and music and then to be able to share it takes an insane amount of bravery that so few people have. And so I just want to start by saying how much I applaud you for putting your art out.
Well, thanks. That means a lot. Oh, that's really nice. Thanks. I feel like I don't really think of it as being like a brave thing, but I guess, yeah. But I appreciate that.
Is it not difficult at all?
Not really. I mean, I think sometimes a little bit. I don't know. That's a great question. I don't. I don't know how to put it into words. I feel like it's something I've just done my whole life, and it's so funny. Now I'm immediately going off on a tangent, but like I feel like in my day-to-day life I'm not very good about like talking about my feelings. But in music, it's so easy. So, yeah.
Does any part of you feel like it's almost scarier not to say exactly how you feel in your music?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because I don't want to mislead myself and I don't want to mislead other people. And so sometimes it's just like easier to say it how it is, even though it's kind of uncomfortable sometimes, I guess.
When you receive messages or meet people who resonate with your music, is that the most magical feeling?
It is. I think it's even more magical because I think sometimes I am writing and I'm thinking to myself, like, I other people can't possibly feel this very specific feeling that I'm experiencing right now. Um, and then to put it out there and have people respond to it with empathy is
Hmm.
really, I feel very seen. And then it makes me feel good that other people are feeling seen.
Who are the artists that you feel that way about?
Um, I think Adrian Lenker and I found Joni Mitchell in high school and she writes with such ferocity like about honesty and ferocity about her feelings that it was like, whoa, that's I want to do that. Yeah.
What about listening to their music made you want to? Because you can listen to their music and relate and enjoy listening, but what about listening to it made you also want to do it?
That's a good question. I think I don't know. I think because I was never very good at saying like I feel really sad right now. Hearing a piece of art that
Mhm.
said it in a um, way that was so direct but also beautiful and original, I was like, I want to turn my feelings into something like that.
So when did you start songwriting?
Um, when I was pretty young, I think, like somewhere in middle school, I started taking guitar lessons when I was 10. Uh, they were just like free at my public school, and I got to skip recess if I took them. So, and then a couple years later, I think I started being like, what if I wrote a song?
You remember that first song?
I do. I don't, it was like something about a heart in a box. It was like not good. I don't, there was, you know, got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
But
What was the message?
heart in a box. I'm assuming it was like feeling caged.
Wow, and you were in middle school?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like,
Yeah,
that's really
that's kind of
impressive.
depressing for a song. Thanks.
So did you like share that with your family or you just wrote it and kept it in your journal?
No, just kept it for me. I would send them to my friends. I think um I loved sharing it with my friends and later on my family, but it was always something that I felt like was mine, and so
Hmm.
I took a lot of pride in having some songs being just mine, which is funny now that it's like my job is sharing them. So
Yeah.
it's a funny switch up.
Where are you from?
I'm from Vermont, so I'm from a town called Jericho that's very small, but yeah.
And were your parents in music or did you have like support from people in the arts?
Mm-mm. No, well, my music teacher in middle school definitely, but my parents were both middle school teachers and they
Okay.
taught at the school I went to. So
Wow. Did you have them as teachers?
I had my mom, she was my health teacher. I did
Are
have
you
my dad.
kidding?
He
I feel like did you enjoy that or was that the word?
It wasn't, it was definitely a little hard sometimes. Especially because it's health class, but
Yeah.
no, it was fine. I love my mom. My dad, I didn't have as a teacher, but they were both my basketball coaches also. So
Oh.
I saw a lot of them. Yeah.
Um, were they supportive of your interest in the arts?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was it was always really interesting to them because they just didn't have the same interest in music that I did.
Hmm.
But they were always very supportive and it really encouraged me to like follow, you know, whatever music journey I wanted to pursue.
Did you feel like there was a career path for you in the arts, or it was just a hobby growing up?
No, I was like, there's no way this would ever, there's no way. Uh, I guess I definitely like dreamed about it. I was like, it'd be so awesome to like write songs for a living. Um, but I didn't know anyone who did that, and I didn't know even like how I would get started or what that would look like. So I I went to school for speech and language therapy, like pathology, and thought I was going to do that. And
Is that
then,
what you wanted, or it was kind of like a
yeah, I mean, I think that I think linguistics in general is so interesting and I loved studying it. But when when my TikToks started gaining some attention, I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like, I feel like this is what I've dreamed about. Like, I feel like I have to follow this or I'll be kicking myself forever.
So you went to college. Where'd you go to school?
I went to Wellesley College. It's like outside of Boston.
Okay. And anywhere in the back of your mind were you like, I'm gonna make it work as a singer, or no?
Definitely not for the first 2.5 years. Was full on like head down. I was always really, really into school, so
Okay.
I definitely that was like my passion.
Hmm.
Um, and then when COVID hit and everybody got sent home, I had more time to write, and so I started
Wow.
posting online because I was bored and TikTok was becoming really popular.
Yeah.
So, um, and then that's when I was like, oh, I guess like I'm starting to make a little bit of money off this. I guess that it could actually be a career if I wanted it to be.
And you're just making money from posting on TikTok.
Yeah, from posting on TikTok, and then I released a couple songs just that I like made in my bedroom that weren't aren't great, but like
Self-produced?
yeah, they were just me and my guitar.
Wow.
But starting to make a little bit of money off those and a little bit of money off of TikTok and from other social media platforms and stuff, being like, this could, this is something that I didn't realize you could just kind of do yourself and
Mhm.
start to turn it into a career.
What did the people around you think at the time?
Oh, we were all like, this is crazy. Like, I didn't know you could do this. Um, I'm from such a small place where, like, there were other musicians, but nobody, really. I didn't know anyone who was like pursuing a career in music, and no one in my family has ever. So, um, my whole support system was like, this is insane. So it was really cool. Like it's a really cool uh journey to be on.
Yeah. So did you finish college?
hmm Yeah, I started posting on TikTok like halfway through my junior year. So I finished, that last semester of my junior year, and then last 2 semesters in person at school. And I graduated 2 years ago, 2022.
So what was it like now kind of your singing songwriting career is taking off a little bit and you're back in school? Did you still have that passion for what you were studying?
I did, I think I shifted my focus a bit. Like, I took a lot more classes pass fail because my school allowed me to do that, which was really nice, without like affecting my GPA or anything. And then I was doing songwriting sessions and recording sessions, you know, half the week, and then going to class and also working. So
Just with people that you would meet or
yeah, just online, like on Zoom. I was trying to like balance both at the same time, and I wanted to make sure that I finished my degree and like felt good about it, but also start building this other,
yeah.
passion. So, it was kind of like I was definitely like split brained for a full year.
Was that must have just been like really wild to manage.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was like, okay, I'm my running from my historical linguistics class back to my dorm room so that I can make my 1 o'clock session. um, it was really strange. And it was kind of hard. Like, I definitely wish I had gotten to spend more time with my friends because I think I was so busy. But it was, I mean, just a crazy experience.
When you started down the path of like, okay, I'm gonna do the singer-songwriter thing, did you, because like honestly, I'm just asking because this is what I'm struggling with right now. But did you have a clear image in your mind of like, this is what I want my career to look like? This is the kind of artist I want to be. This is the kind of music I want to make. Or were you just creating for the sake of creating?
Um, I think I think my goal always is just to like be honest and true to like where I am at a certain stage of my life. And I think for the most part that's just been like writing about my feelings, and so I knew that my career was going to be pretty like diary
Hmm.
centric, if that makes sense. Like that's kind of what I tend to brand myself as.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always written, so it was pretty easy.
Was it overwhelming at the beginning and maybe even still now, not having a clear sense of like, these are the hurdles to hit? this is
Hmm.
what gets me to this point. This makes me have a sustainable lifestyle, like all those kinds of things.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I struggle with that all the time because it's like, you accomplish something and then you're like, okay, that's cool, but like, what's next?
Uh-huh.
And I feel like I've just been trying to like take it in stride. Working really hard to be present and acknowledge like this is a cool thing I'm doing. 'Cause it is so hard to be like, okay, well, what's the next thing I can do to be able to sustain myself a little bit better, or like
Yeah.
be a better songwriter, or get a bit more attention or something. So, yeah, I don't really know. It's never been super clear to me.
So how do you, without like a roadmap, which that's one of my biggest struggles, is just that there's no clear roadmap in
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
path. Do you have like mentors that you turn to, or how do you kind of keep yourself in a direction that you're happy with?
Definitely, I think talking to other musicians who are both either like on the same like on a similar path as me, like in terms of where we're at on that
Yeah.
journey, or like my producer's a big mentor to me. I feel like I is very good with whenever I'm like, oh, I'm freaking out. That's who I turn to.
Uh-huh.
Um, so yeah, I think the main thing I try and do is just like keep writing and keep creating because I feel like that's the only way to keep things moving along is to just keep at it, which is annoying because you want like you put something out and you're like fingers crossed this is this is gonna get me to where I want to go, but it's not really a guarantee. So I think I try and be just like very happy with the creation process because that's the only thing that's going to make me feel like I'm doing something uh what's the right word? I don't know. Fulfilling.
Yeah. Do you enjoy the marketing and social media aspect of it or no?
There are parts of it that I like. I love connecting with people.
Hmm.
I hate trying to sell myself. It feels wrong. Like it doesn't feel authentic to who I am, but there's really no way around it. So yeah, I try and focus more on the oh wow, I'm making connections with so many people right now.
Yeah. I mean, as a viewer, I don't know if this helps, but like I said earlier, I do think that you go about social media in such an authentic way. I really just struggled with the idea of like posting on TikTok for so long until I found
Hmm.
kind of people like you who seem to still really be themselves on that kind of platform where I didn't know how I could be myself, and I'm still kind of figuring it out. But I think that comes across like the authenticity on any platform, whatever you're doing, like if you're coming from a place of truth, people are going to feel that.
Yeah,
And that
thanks.
just is really impressive. And I wonder if that's something that you've ever had to work on, or you've just never really had like a wall you've put up.
I don't know. I feel like the songwriting to me was the key to like bringing the wall down. I think I used to use Instagram as like a, well, Instagram specifically because that's like what I had in high school and stuff. I used to use that as like a, hey guys, check out what I'm doing. Like, I'm pretty cool. And then starting to post my music on TikTok was definitely I had to like break down that barrier because it was like, oh, this is me being so insecure right now. Um, and once it came down, I was like, this really isn't so bad. Like,
Hmm.
lots of people feel like this, and I'm not gonna worry too much about like looking like a weirdo or um being cringy because this is kind of just how I feel and how I am in life. So, yeah.
Yeah. You ever get comments that are not supportive?
Oh yeah. I mean, for the most part, I get really nice comments, which is very awesome, but I don't know anyone who hasn't gotten like some vile comments. They're the worst on YouTube Shorts. I don't really know what's going on over there, but I had to delete the YouTube Creator app because I was like,
Are you serious?
yeah, I was like, well, that's the Wild West over there. I
Oh
don't
my
know.
gosh. Maybe it's like
Yeah,
some bots on YouTube Shorts or something.
I have no idea. It sucks to be able to have access to like everybody's thoughts about you all the time.
Yeah. Especially when you're so vulnerably sharing, you're
Right. You're like,
his
yeah,
feelings.
sure. This is just my, soul being bared to
Yeah,
you.
exactly. So how do you protect your soul and your artistry and amidst these comments?
Um, I think the people I surround myself with tend to like I see them as a reflection of like um not in a way that like, I'm not an individual, but like I'm very proud of the people I surround myself with, and I think they're the ones who really like are able to keep me grounded in a lot of ways. Um, I get a lot of reality checks from my friends when I'm like, hey, I got this comment. And also just like putting my phone down and going on a walk and being like, it's really, that's not, that doesn't say anything about who I am. It's
Mhm.
somebody else's stuff that they're putting on me, and I don't need to carry that. So trying to balance everything and remember that I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. Do you live in LA now?
I live in Nashville,
Okay.
so I moved here right after college a couple years ago.
Do you like it?
I do like it. I think it's been such a learning curve in terms of just where I am in the country, and also such a strong songwriting community here that is really pretty supportive of other songwriters, which has been really cool to be a part of.
So are you like songwriter over artist? Like, do you want to write for others as well?
That's the goal one day. I'm like, it's uh definitely a process of getting there, but yeah, I think to me the songwriting is my favorite part, and I would love to continue to have my own project and also start writing with other people also.
Are you independent?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I've worked with some distributors, but I don't have a label.
Uh-huh. So what does like your week look like these days when it comes to your work?
I have a part-time job, so that takes up 3 days of my week. And then the other days I'm writing or creating content that I'll schedule. That's kind of about it. It's a lot of like content, content, content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that get just overstimulating?
Yeah, I have to make sure that I'm like, if I'm really having a day where I'm being bitter about it, it's like, okay, well, not today, tomorrow then. Like, can't really be in that headspace. So, yeah, having to be like pretty nice to myself also, which is that can be kind of hard, especially I feel like in this career. So,
What are the goals right now you're working towards?
my big goal is like one day I can make money only off of music. So that's kind of like what I'm working towards in my mind. um, I think also touring, like being able to tour more is the other big goal because I feel like everything else will just it'll come, like the projects and whatnot. I know I'll write them. But those are my two things.
Hmm. What do you do on a daily basis to work towards those things? Is it just like continuing to write and share?
Yeah, write and share. Also, like make connections with other artists. I think that's I didn't realize how big of what a big part that plays in singer songwriter careers is building a network,
Yeah.
um and also like playing shows and continuing to establish connections that way.
Have you had a show where people have like sung your lyrics back to you?
Yeah, I my most there have been a few, but my most memorable one is I played a show in London a year and a half ago or so, and the crowd was so like they were so loud. And
That feel
I
like?
on it was a bit of like an out of body experience where I was like, oh my God, like uh I I wrote that and
Yeah.
all the words to it. It was I had to kind of like on stage be like, okay, I'm being present right now. I'm not having a like emotional moment. I'm being present. Um, yeah, it's a like the best feeling. Yeah.
That sounds like, yeah, to have something come from you or like through you and for other people to resonate with it enough to show up and then be
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable enough to then express themselves back to you.
I know. It's crazy to be like, wow, so not only did you like you took a night of your life to come like see
Right.
me, you
And
also
paid
paid
money.
money.
Yeah.
And you know all of the words. That's crazy. That's so much energy that I, I don't know. It makes me feel very grateful. Yeah.
I'm like a really like weird concert goer. I just like stand in the
Mm-hmm.
back and just watch. And I don't want to sing
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to hear myself. I want to hear the person who I
Yeah.
see. And I just want to like take it all in. And I don't know. I'm just like I probably look like a crazy person at a concert. But what I kind of noticed at the a few concerts that I went to last was
Mm-hmm.
how the artist first has to create the safe space for the people there to then feel they can be themselves and sing or cry or whatever they need to do and give that energy back
Right.
to the artist. But that first has to be created by the artist. And
Right.
that's just such like a that's like magic, you know? Like
Yeah,
people
it is.
people that you do not know and have never met to have connected with you and your art and then to want to share that space and time and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. I think that was another surprising thing to me was realizing that like yeah, you're an entertainer when you're on stage, but also you're like a caretaker in a way because you're
Mm.
having to kind of establish the groundwork for a crowd to feel like safe enough to like laugh or
Yeah.
if I mess up, like, I have to well, one apologize because like it's my job to not mess up. And then but also be like, it's okay to mess up. Like and you can sing if you want to. Like um creating an environment where people feel comfortable is such a big part of being a musician.
I've never heard that word be used in the context of a concert before. Caretaker. That's so true. And what an honor to get to be in that position for people.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Um, and I'm usually the opener at shows, which is another layer to that where you're having I mean, it's an honor that the artist asked you to be there and then also you get to be the one who kind of sets the tone for the evening. So, it's a lot of just making everybody feel like they belong in this space.
Who's been your favorite artist you've opened for?
I went on tour with Donovan Woods and Henry Jameson a year and a half ago, and Henry is my like most streamed artist of all time. So
How did that
we're
happen?
both from we're both from Vermont, and so I found his music in college, like as COVID was hitting, and just was like obsessed with. I think he's the best writer. So
Wow.
um, yeah, then we ended up connecting and um so I think that'll always be it'll be tough to beat that one, I think. Yeah.
That's incredible. Was that your first tour experience?
It was my first I'd done like, 3 or 4 days at a time, but it was my first month long tour. Yeah.
What was that like?
It was really fun. I think I was surprised at how much fun I had because I was so busy being nervous the
Hmm.
first, month leading up to it. Um, And I think you kind of just have to lean in and be like, yeah, I'm like really uncomfortable in the back of the van right now and my legs hurt and I have to pee, but I get to like play music every night. So um there are ups and downs. It is really hard, but it's also my fate. Like I'm so happy on tour.
Who would be your dream artist to open for you?
Ooh, well, she's already open for me, but my one of my good friends, Bridie Costello, is one of my favorite musicians, and I just want her to open for me all the time. And also, Kate Stevenson just moved to Nashville, and I think she's like the best writer ever. So, yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever want to move to LA or?
I thought about it. It's really, really far from Vermont, is the number one thing. And I already struggle being like, you can't like take a direct flight to Vermont. It's like always a double flighter trip. And to fly from Vermont to LA literally takes an entire day.
Oh,
And here it's like at least just like half a day. But I think being far away from my family would be really hard
yeah.
for me. Yeah. But I love visiting LA. It's such a cool city. Touristy things
Yeah.
around, but also a lot of really cool, genuine spaces too.
Yeah. I think that goes for any city, especially in the
Hmm.
arts. Like obviously
Yeah,
in LA, you have to find your people. And I'm sure it's the
yeah,
same in Nashville, but
totally. It's like an effort to you have to like go seek it
yeah.
out too. Um, and that's something I'm always working on.
Hmm.
But yeah, people are, I feel like I'm always pleasantly surprised with how willing people are to connect with others.
Something that I think about when I'm at these events is that everybody that, we look up to or whatever, were once doing the same
Or
thing. So
they
it's just,
started
we're all just
yeah,
on different parts of our journeys.
yeah.
What is the most challenging part of your job and lifestyle?
I definitely struggle a lot with comparison and feeling like I'm behind or like I should be, I don't know, like hitting a certain milestone, whatever it is, and I haven't, you know, beating myself up when I see other people have something that I want and don't have. And I know that it's me doing that to myself. Um, but I have to work really hard to like shut that all down. I think that's been the hardest part, is having to actively try and stay present and grateful instead of falling into the more negative jealousy trap.
If your 15-year-old self could see you now, what would she say?
She would be elated. She would be like so excited. And I that's the part that's like how I am able to shut that off is being like, just like think about what you're doing. Like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, little you would be so excited and happy. So, yeah, it's such a cool thing to reflect on.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you have no idea what you're doing?
Yeah, all the time.
It's making sure I'm not alone.
Yeah, no. I feel like the only thing I really know how to do is, well, even sometimes I'm like the only thing I know how to do is like write a song, but then sometimes I feel like I don't even know how to do that. So, um, again, I think it's good to talk to other musicians because everybody feels the same way, is what I have realized in the past
So what's
2,
typically
3
the
years.
advice you get?
The advice I get is remember you're not alone
Mhm.
and also just like keep going because you're only going to keep spiraling if you neglect the artist part of yourself. So, um, yeah, I focus a lot on the keep going.
Hmm. What do you want your legacy to be?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, I just want my legacy to be one that I was a kind person, and then also that like I, am hopefully creating art that other people can see themselves in.
Hmm.
That's really all I care about. So, yeah.
It was so lovely meeting you. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, it was so nice meeting you too, and thanks for having me.